What is
What is good? We're back at it again with another episode 3.
So I got one question for y'all. One question for y'all. How'd you like that intro, guys? That's a new intro.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, let's get the ball rolling here. I didn't write topics down because I was lazy this week. But you're ahead of me, so thank God for my best friend here.
But before we get into it, if you guys need, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure you ring the notification bell so you guys will not miss any of these shows like these or the Pigskin recap, whatever you tickles your fancy, basically. But first off, we're gonna dive into a little bit of college football. I think a lot of people probably have seen this, where Coach Prime had made comments, kind of defending Henry Blackburn of the death threats that's been going on. And you know, it's especially after that. That's probably the best college football game I've seen in quite some time. But yeah, I mean, Henry Blackburn, it was always been under scrutiny because of that late hit on Travis Hunter, who, well, let's just be real, had suffering a lacerated liver.
I love what he said. You're like, look, guys, I forgive them. Travis had forgiven him in the hospital because Blackburn visited him in the hospital because he felt bad about it. And you know, he said, I forgave him. Travis forgave him. Some of the fans forgave him. Hell. Like, so it's time. And he said, so it's time for you guys to forgive him and stop with the death threats. Yes. Was it a late hit? Yes. Did it take a guy out of commission for a little bit of the season? Yes. For 3 weeks? Was it 3 weeks, you said?
It's 3 weeks.
That's nothing. And that doesn't warrant death threats. That kind of reminds me of when the DeMar Hamlin thing happened last year. The guy who hit him was getting death threats.
Yeah, T. Higgins, oh boy.
T. Higgins was getting death threats for that. And I'm like, dude, really? For one, that was just a poorly timed hit. Not on T. Higgins' part, not on DeMar Hamlin's part. It was that he hit him at just the perfect time to where his heart stopped. That's hard to time.
It really is. And
now with the Travis Hunter situation and Blackburn, yes, it was a late hit. Yes, it was a bad hit. Yes, there should have been some repercussions for Blackburn on that hit, but he doesn't deserve to die from that. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send like a billion death threats to scare this man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's really stupid, to be quite honest.
It's dumb. It's beyond stupid. It is atrocious. It is heinous to go and do something like that and say something like that to a guy.
And what's crazy about this, I've been seeing people say, "Oh, you know, he should have his scholarship revoked and some stupid crap like that." So
over a stupid hit.
Yeah.
Now, if he was getting straight Fs in school, that's warranted. Oh yeah, get his scholarship revoked. But a late hit in a football game, a meaningless game. Come on.
But yeah.
Now, if he went and just bum rushed the ref and tackled the ref, yeah, take his scholarship away.
I mean, we saw that. I mean, I don't think everybody remembers that one clip of a high school footballer who did that. And
he got worse repercussions. He got arrested for it. He got booked in jail because doing that's assault. Yeah, doing a football hit on a football player in a game, that's fine. But doing it on a ref, that's not part of the game. So that's technically assault. So of course he got arrested for it. But again, with the Travis Hunter situation and Blackburn should not be getting death threats. And I absolutely applaud the first thing out of Primetime's mouth when he entered that press conference was that he doesn't like the death threats. So, Coach Prime, I applaud you, man. I applaud you.
100%. And sticking with football, There's a couple of 3 NFL some stuff we want to talk about in the NFL. One in particular, obviously for Justin Fields. For those who are not Bears fans, don't know what we're talking about. He pretty much, in short terms, put the coaching staff on blast, for lack of a better term, of how he's been playing. And when you really look at it, yeah, I mean, look, the Bears. Let's be real. The Bears have not done nothing to help Justin Fields to succeed.
Nothing. And the thing is, the only one that defended Fields' coaching thing that he said in the press conference of what the issue is, which is true, the only one that defended it was Greeny from ESPN.
Dude, he went off.
I'm like, dude, everything that's out of Greeny's mouth today is right.
And what's crazy about this, when we talk from Mike Greenberg's perspective, but yeah, I mean, he is right, because the Bears have not done nothing to have their quarterbacks they have not done nothing to have like a solid franchise QB since Jim McMahon, and that was in the mid to early 80s.
That was 85, the 85 Bears.
And that's concerning, because the fact you had to go through guys like Jay Cutler, who was solid, but it kind of fizzled out towards the end of his letter here. You had a one-hit wonder in Rex Grossman, and you had Lovie Smith as your head coach. That was kind of a mismatch in heaven.
He wasn't really a one-hit wonder either. He had a bad statistical season for the Bears the year they went to the Super Bowl. They got carried by Devin Hester.
Who
that year?
Might I add, is a criminal that he is not in the goddamn Pro Football Hall of Fame.
After all that man did for the Bears, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Dude, he revolutionized special teams play.
Bro.
I'm sorry.
He was Sproles before Sproles existed.
Devin,
but he was a little bit taller. A little bit taller version of that.
Exactly. And that's what you always have to respect about Devin Hester, but he revolutionized the kick return. The dude could not, Dude could
not be stopped. He could not be stopped on any kick return. He could not be stopped.
Obviously, we're sticking with the Bears though, but yeah, I mean, and yeah, Greenberg, pretty much said it all. Like the coaching hasn't done nothing. The front office for sure ain't doing.
He also said something like, "Oh, you had so many quarterbacks in that draft that y'all drafted Trubisky, and you got Trubisky."
Yeah, and
over
Patrick Mahomes.
Same class as Patrick Mahomes. Carson Wentz was 2016.
Yeah. Wentz was at 2016.
But the same draft as Patrick Mahomes, and he was still on the board, and you got Trubisky. That's what Greenberg said on Get Up this morning.
Yeah.
Or yesterday morning. He's like, and you got Trubisky? Come on. Like, he was that annoyed with that too. He was like Patrick Mahomes is on the board, and you got Trubisky. Really?
And I think Gooley said it best. They're the new factory of sadness, because they can't do nothing right. No matter, I mean, look, the Bears, let's be real, they've been nothing short of pathetic. Like I said, there's no other words to really describe the Bears other than pathetic, hot garbage, crap. It's
sugar, honey, iced tea.
Pretty much.
That too. But that's the thing though. That one of the adjectives you said about this team, completely right. Pathetic. Pathetic franchise ran by an old lady.
Yeah, and look, I can't blame Ryan Poles. I know he did his best, but the problem
Poles tried. Ryan Poles, I'll tell you that he tried. But Virginia McCaskey should go away.
I'm sorry, but that offensive line, I feel bad for Justin Fields. I really do. I feel bad for the kid. I mean, his third NFL season, and he's still in the
Here's my problem. I don't think it's the offensive line. I rewatched some of the highlights from these games. He just holds on to the ball for way too long. He's getting a lot of time in the pocket now, more than ever. It's just coaching does not. The coaching draws up these plays where all his receivers literally cannot get open. And also the Chase Claypool thing, where Chase Claypool does not even try anymore.
Yeah, and the Bears made ultimately you either make an effort or you're out.
If I was coach, I'd be like, dude, make an effort. You ball out of your freaking mind.
I think from my understanding, that was from the front. That was from the front office that made it ultimatum.
That's also an issue with the coaching. If the coaching ain't doing something to correct Claypool, but the front office
has to step,
who aren't even a part of coaching this team is getting on Chase Claypool, you've got an issue with coaching.
Yeah,
Justin Fields is right about that.
And it's like I'm thinking to myself because, and that is true from Arku. Yeah, and that's true. They really cannot do nothing right with. Like, they can't have nice things. They always find a way to either drive him out of town or somehow let him get hurt for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what is with the Bears and what.
And honestly, it pains me. It pains me too because of this piss poor coaching and the piss poor management more than half the time. Justin Fields, if he doesn't do well within the next year or so, I don't think he's out. I think they'll just label him as a bust.
Because like going back to my point earlier, the last time you ever had a really solid franchise quarterback was Jim McMahon in the early 80s. Yeah. Hell, late 70s, early 80s, and then he didn't really start popping off towards the mid 80s, like from 84 to 80. Wins the Super Bowl with 85.
That guy was so laid back before games. He was drinking beer
and still
before games
and still balled out
and put up stupid numbers.
Yeah.
That man looked like those rom-coms from the 80s, the villains. He looked like one of them, right? Jim McMahon did.
It really was. And like I said, I said this once before on the show, it's like, I feel bad for Bears fans. Like, they had to put up with the amount of bullshit that they've been putting up for the last 3.5 decades. If you're counting. Yeah. The fact you have this team has been rebuilding since 1986 was that is fucking concerning. I'm sorry I had to drop an F-bomb, but one needs to be warranted because this and obviously if you go back to earlier in the channel's history, I swear to God, I've actually voiced my displeasure for the McCaskies, and I'm not even a freaking Bears fan.
Dude. Even I said something, and I just said something now, so it's literally been reiterated. And we hate that it has to be reiterated, but it's been the same song and dance.
For the last 3.5 decades.
For the last 3.5 decades. They got lucky in 2006. They got lucky from 2010 to 2012. They got lucky again in 2018. They've had strings of luck for like a year to maybe 3 years at a time, but in those years, losing season, in between those gaps. And it's just been atrocious for the Bears, man. And it's all the McCaskey's fault.
Gooley says it better than anybody. And I know a lot of personal Bears fans personally, and they're sick and tired of it. Like, it's the way, and it's kind of the same way how most Lions fans were sick of it, of being rebuilding since the early 50s. And now you're actually, it's like, you see the only key difference what you see between the Bears and the Lions actually did a whole hell of a lot much, or hang on, I'm trying to phrase this.
A whole hell of a lot better.
Yeah, you can see the adjustments. Look, Goff may not be the best quarterback, but he's been playing the best football in his couple seasons.
Goff has actually been a really good quarterback. He's been really solid. It's just when it comes to big game moments, like one,
he just somehow comes up shy.
Super Bowl that he played, he kind of choked that one. But
and look at the key differences. They have a solid O-line, solid defense, solid wide receiving core, and actually a head coach that can help players buy into his philosophy. The Bears. It's like you're really looking at it, like thinking of the Bears as a map. It's like, it basically just asks you, what the heck is this? Like, what?
Can I tell you something? I'm gonna stay in the city of Chicago. You know what they are? They are literally the White Sox of football.
Oh, that's that's not safe.
I'm saying it right now, and I bet you Gooley would agree with me. They are the White Sox of football right now.
The only team that's actually been relevant.
The Cubs.
Currently, right now, is the Cubs, and that's Because the Bulls, who knows?
I was telling Bully, I'm like, I wouldn't because he was in the group chat. He was like, I don't know if I want to do a stream on my dad's birthday. I'm like, you don't have to. I mean, we understand.
Especially,
But then again, he's like, I'm talking about Chicago sports too, and I don't really want to talk about it right now. I'm like, I wouldn't want to either. All I would be wanting to talk about is the Cubs. That's it.
I mean, as Gooley says it best, like they are used to failure, and I can see why. Because the last time Bulls won an NBA championship was in what 98. What was it, 94, 95, or was it 96?
No, 97, 98. It was in 98 when they won the championship.
Okay, so you haven't seen a World Series in 2016, which good for the Cubs fans. And I will flat admit, I hopped on the bandwagon just because I want to see the.
Every single baseball fan hopped on that bandwagon.
Look how long the Cubs fans have been desperate when they needed a World Series prior to 2016.
Honestly, when they won, can I tell you something? It felt like the Phillies won the damn thing.
Yeah,
I was that hype.
Because I mean, look, the fact you have not won a World Series in over 100 years, that's like, ugh. But I mean, like I said, the Bears, you have not seen a Super Bowl since 1985. The Chicago Blackhawks was in 2010. My memory serves me.
Oh, right. Don't remind me of that. No, don't remind me of that. But you know what team they were going against. Don't remind me of that ever.
But it's
how the hell did the Flyers blow a 3-1 lead? How?
Look, your guess is as good as mine, but and I can't really blame Justin Fields on the way how he feels. And like I said, I mean,
I don't blame him.
And that's why. And speaking of dipping back to college football, this is why I can understand why Caleb Williams wants to go back, because I think Ryan, and as much as I know Ryan Leaf, we always call him like he's like the face of the bus, but he made an interesting point. It's like, before you even want to go into the draft, you have the leverage of not want to play for the team. And he said, that, and Ryan Leaf, and he stated that, that was the one mistake I've wish I knew about. So I mean, we had to could.
And the thing is, I think Eli did it best because he got drafted by the Chargers and said, I don't want to play for the Chargers.
And next year, paid out a pretty good career. And as much as I love to laugh at the Giants, but
paved out 2 Super Bowls with that career.
Yeah, Tom Brady twice, 07 and 2011. Ever since then, they've been, it's been nothing but downhill from the Giants ever since then. But stick with the NFL, though. We're going to another team that's going in the NFC East, or the NFC West, my apologies. 49ers earlier today extended the head coach John Shanahan and John Lynch to multiple year deals. They don't exactly know how long the deals are. Shanahan, I don't really mind. Look, as much as I know we kind of clown Shanahan for when he was the OC with the Falcons, but you would have to really give credit where credit is due that Shanahan has done some phenomenal work since becoming the head coach. I mean, look, he had right now, as I've seen in recent memory, John Harbaugh, because I know Jim's with the Ravens.
Jim's with the Ravens.
Obviously, there was a little bit of had a really some good years with San Francisco. Fortunately, messy breakup. Went back to college. Been solid ever since. But you have Kyle Shanahan, who as an offensive coordinator wasn't the greatest, but he can be a really nice offensive genius when it really comes to. John Lynch, I know from for a lot of some 49ers fans, there's some mixed reactions with him. As a player, not really not terrible, but he wasn't the greatest by any stretch of the means. But as a GM, he's constantly missed on a lot of picks, mostly in the first round, anyways. But the mid round picks, getting guys like Debo, who I mean, I don't know if he's able to, but you kind of understand what I'm saying. But so both got contract extensions because it's for them. It's like they're kind of the same way as the Cowboys. It's always Super Bowl or bust. And I know, I think they have the right now. Like Brock Purdy, there's the biggest questions around him. Like, can he replicate what he did in a very short amount of time with what he has now? And honestly, from what I've seen, yes, I mean, he has his struggles, but then again, he's also come off with Tommy John and stuff like that from the NFC title game, which I know why most 49ers fans, if you're watching this, move on from it. Holy crap. The fact you're still clinging on to that is beyond me. But when I saw that they're saying, you know what? I don't disagree with this. just because I don't know. It's a how do I say this? Like Shanahan can do some good things, but a lot of times, it just goes down the toilet, so to speak, for whatever reason. And I think when you look at the history of this franchise, yeah, 5 Super Bowls with some of the all-time greats, with Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice. I don't know how I almost forgot one of the greatest receivers of all time. There's probably more that the older 49ers fans can probably let us know. But what's going on, Key? Obviously, Key, the other shout to the Sports Sweep Network, just one of our colleagues, I would say. But yeah, but the 49 this my thing is
I'll be back, brother.
But yeah. But really looking at this 49ers team, if they can't make the Super Bowl at some point, it's like, I mean, look, you already traded Trey Lance for you after giving up a King's rank. What's going on, Key? I understand. I get you. But with the 49ers, do I think they have the potential to win the Super Bowl? Oh, absolutely, 100%. But the problem is at times too is like they gotta stay healthy. I mean, I've liked what they have over there in the West Coast. I mean, Debo, CMC, well, we should figuratively piss him off. The dude can run on you like it's nothing. Brock Purdy, I'm still, I'm kind of 50-50 on him. I'm still not sold. I mean, the fact that you gave up a king's ransom to draft Trey Lance, never going to give him a shot, even though obviously, kind of got cut short because of injuries. Then you get an okay return to trade him to Dallas. And quite honestly, it's really makes you think that it's like the fact that the Niners decide to really kind of whiff on a franchise QB. So, I'm not really. Yeah, you know what? That was really stupid. Like, how do you not get speaking of Trent Williams, look, yes, I know from people who have not watched the game yesterday, I'm very surprised at how Trent Williams never got ejected for what he did. And quite honestly, and it's going to be interesting to see, like, how much longer does he have left to play with the Niners? Because I mean, look, he's still one of the best left guards. I would understand about that. And it's really ridiculous to see the fact that, yeah, and that's the thing. Not right, Charles. Golly. Yeah, you know what is bad? That shout out to Key who's in the chat right now telling like if the ref can't see anything, boy, right, Charles. And that's the thing too. Like this year though, we've seen some I would say some questionable calls by the officials, and we're about in week 3, give or take right now for a lot of teams. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not really saying, I mean, the refs are definitely a problem with some of these calls. And, at some point, I really hope, because the one thing that I've always talked about, or one thing I've really liked before, was you can actually challenge a pass interference, which the fact that they took that away was an absolute baloney, for lack of a better term. Because, I mean, there are some games where you're seeing some PIs that did not go or get called, I would say. And it's ridiculous, I would say. But all in all, look, kudos to the Niners to extend Shanahan and John Lynch. Now, Lynch, at some point, and yes, I know I've like I said, I'm going to reiterate this. I've heard some mixed reactions from the Niner faithful, some anyways that I've known personally. Because I know John Lynch is, well, I'm not saying he's not he's not hated, but he's not so well liked by some people, mostly by most Niners fans is what I meant. Just because it's like, look at the amount of like the picks that he's, especially during his time as the GM, like how many draft picks he whiffed on. It's not really good. At some point, I think that's kind of been concerning at times if you're a franchise that has a GM that can draft okay, but somehow just does not can't always somehow whiffs on first round picks, but somehow he does really, actually picks up some solid gems in the middle rounds obviously from like 2 through 6, basically. Even in the 7th round, you got at least got to give John Lynch the benefit of the doubt. It's like he doesn't do well in the first. This is what I'll take away from this: that Lynch doesn't do well in the first rounds, but when he comes like the second to the 7th round, he always will find gems for whatever. It's like, and with kind of what the system, what they built over there with Shanahan. With Kyle Shanahan running things, and see what Steve Wilkes can do as a defensive coordinator. But yeah, that's kind of my thing on with Lynch, because it's like when it comes to like I said, the middle rounds, he just somehow hits on some solid underrated gems for whatever reason. But the first round just completely whiffs on the first round. But yeah, that's my thing on John Lynch. But yeah, so the Niners, for those who have not really paid attention, earlier today, like I said, we all gave contract extensions to Shanahan and Lynch for the next.
It's been crazy,
Yeah. Sticking with the NFL, Marcus May from the New Orleans Saints. I know this kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, myself included. Marcus May got popped for 3 games for violating the NFL policy on substances of abuse. For those, it's basically their wellness policy. Is basically what it is, or the drug abuse policy.
It's basically a wellness policy, but for some reason they still have weed on there.
Yeah, that still never will make sense to me. They will never. It's. And meantime, we said this all the time, and you can see this over and over again. As most bigger content creators or NFL people who talk about it, it's called the wheel of punishments. It is very freaking inconsistent. If I never saw one, so let's make some couple of examples.
Here's what I look at it, right, and it's probably the examples that you were going to give too. But let's look at the punishment, the gap of punishment here.
Oh, yeah.
You hit your girlfriend, you're out for a game. You do weed, you're suspended indefinitely.
And it's like...
That's your gap.
Or...
And it doesn't... And it never... And the reason why Greg Hardy was out of the league after his case is because there was fan backlash. If there was no fan backlash about it, he was still being...
I know social media nowadays, back then, would go after Greg Hardy.
Also, weed, you're suspended indefinitely, but you can sexually assault 25 or more women
and get 11 games.
You get the 11 game suspension.
It does make you wonder. Like we need better punishment. Like I said, I mean, even me and Tyler too, as longtime Clemson fans, the way with Deshaun Watson. Great in college, but ever since all the off the field crap came out, it's like, you know what a scumbag. It really changes the the entire outlook of what we know about, and the fact he's still playing, and the fact there was a lot, even at that time,
and honestly, every single football fan with a brain is happy that his downfall showed up.
And I'm one of them.
He has not played good in the past 2 seasons so far.
And yeah, it's
last year you could say, oh, it was rust. This year, no damn excuse.
Honestly, Damien, I could agree with that. Watching, see,
I could agree with that too. He was just okay.
He was
just okay.
I do agree with that. Was it 2017? Yeah, it was the.
But he was decent. He was always winning. He was always winning. What, the AFC North or the AFC South?
South. No,
actually, he was winning the AFC South.
No, I'm sorry. He actually had the Heisman, but the problem was he was so overhyped to the point where it's like they say, "Oh, this he could be the number 1 overall pick." It's like, dude, have you not watched Clemson football? The dude's been not great, but he's okay. What are you talking about being a? And
I think the reason why they rated him so high was because he was vying for the draft the same year he won the national championship.
Yeah, and it sucks. Well, I'm not saying it sucks, but I'm glad that we're getting to see, most of us Clemson fans get to see his downfall. It's like, well, that's your fucking fault for actually laying hands on that. Well, should not be laying hands on anybody. So I'll leave it at that.
He wasn't laying hands on. He wasn't really laying hands on it. He wasn't fighting anybody. It was more sexual assault.
Well,
and that's just as bad, though. It's just as bad.
Either way, how you ever look at it, it's still bad enough. One way or another. And I know, and I'm sorry for laughing, but I'm just great. Well, not say grateful. I know.
Put it this way. Rob is laughing at his downfall.
Because it's like I love Clemson football a lot. It's like to see a guy who actually didn't really. He was okay because I feel like he was. When you really look at that 2017, that national championship game that Watson was on, he got carried by that team. If I'm going to have to be quietly honest, I think he really got carried.
Him. The defense carried him. I watched that. Defense carried him. But look at but honestly, yeah, look at the gap between a weed case and a sexual assault case.
It's the same thing with betting.
Like sports betting. I would technically think that would be cheating, so I kind of get that. Because you can intentionally try to throw a game or try to,
Yeah, that's true.
To get points or something or get money. You can intentionally try to throw a game. But
yeah, as we say, I mean, the punishments that the NFL hands out is there's a huge gap no matter what you're looking at.
And this is not just the wellness. This is from the wellness policy side and the no tolerance side.
Exactly.
Apparently, you have some tolerance for sexual assault and some tolerance for players beating their girlfriend.
I mean, shit. Exactly. Look at Ray Rice back in 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
But here's the thing: Ray Rice, he was never suspended for a game. That was one of the cases where they did it right.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking to myself, like, where the hell is this all the time? Like, where's this type of punishment? Like,
but after that, the Greg Hardy situation happened. He got the same amount of he got the same amount of days suspended or games suspended as Tom Brady, and all Tom Brady did was, apparently, and it came out to be a farce. It wasn't true. Apparently, he had a hand at deflating footballs, which ended up not being true anyway.
Yeah, that boy.
It was a lie made up by a player because he was so mad about them losing a game. Which,
do better, basically.
We'll do better defensively, cover guys. I mean, I don't know.
But, and that's the thing, too. Then that was the one thing that a lot of NFL teams, some NFL teams, and a lot of NFL fans never liked the Patriots. It's like, because they're too damn good. It's like, you got to respect where you got to respect the talent.
I think the hatred started when it came out that they were cheating the first time, when the whole Spygate thing happened. And that came out to be true.
Yeah, that was
after that, no one had respect for him. When they won in 2001, everybody was happy about it. Like, oh, cool, they won.
Yeah.
But after that, when it came out that they were cheating for the last few Super Bowls, then was like,
tell that to Raiders fans. They will never let the talk roll game go at all. They're still clinging at that. It's been almost over 2 decades now. Since then,
honestly, with the new rule in place, they should have won. And with the new rule, that's why the new rule's in place. If the arm goes forward, it's not a fumble.
Yeah, the ground can't cause a fumble.
Ground can't cause a fumble. Or no, not ground can't cause a fumble. Like, if the arm goes forward and you take a hit,
it's an incomplete pass.
It's incomplete pass because his arm went forward. It's a throwing motion. And that's why the rule's in place, because of 2001, his arm went forward.
Because they don't want to have another tuck rule game again. And boy, and let's be real, the Raiders have been, for lack of a better term, a joke, for lack of a better term. But, and like I said, to keep really adding on
because they were stupid in the next year. This was 2001 when the tuck rule happened. They were stupid the next year to trade their damn head coach.
Yeah, and what I grew to do? He wins a freaking Super Bowl that following year
against the Raiders.
I was like, oh, that is the most irony, some karmic
irony.
Wow.
And the thing is though, he didn't just win it; he blew them the hell out.
I'm thinking about if you see, this is one thing too. Like we ask ourselves or younger selves, it's like, and we would go back and watch. I said, man, that is some poetic justice or some karma I've ever seen.
I was like, karma was quite the bitch for them.
And I started cracking. I was like, boy, and ever since then, it's been nothing but a short downfall for the Raiders ever since then. And it stinks,
and then
man,
after
because
that, they had to go with they got a quarterback that didn't freaking try, Jamarcus Russell.
that was something.
They completely screwed up Derek Carr.
And people should blame Derek Carr that he was the problem. It's like, first of all, look at the coaching staff.
For me, I looked at last year. I'm like, they're really messing with Derek Carr because all he has is one receiver. That's it.
That's Davante Adams. He's known since college. I mean, he also
no offensive line, no defense, and for some damn reason they didn't resign the guy that got him to the playoffs when Gruden got fired.
Oh, with Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia.
They didn't really keep him because
they didn't keep him, and they gave him Josh freaking McDaniels, who can't head coach for the life of him.
And I know a lot of older Broncos fans probably remember those days.
Oh yeah, when they started 8-0, and they shit the bed and went 8-8 and 09.
Yeah.
And then after that, did nothing, and he got fired by like what 2011 or 2012.
I think 2011. I think he's.
Yeah, it was 2011 because 2012 they went with I think Kubiak. I think 2012. No, Kubiak was 2015.
Yeah, Kubiak was 2015. Yeah, that was the same year. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kubiak actually took the Broncos to the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 2015. That was Peyton Manning's swan song season.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, the late Demaryius Thomas. I mean, that's still shit. I don't feel as real that he passed away at a very young.
Bro, that still sucks, man. We lost Demaryius Thomas.
Like, let's be real. What mid 30s? It's like,
geez. He was young.
And it's like, and that's the thing too. We're seeing not seeing a lot of problems, but we've seen a lot of football players just somehow tragically get their lives. For me,
it was a good part of like a good 2-3 months this year. It was like every week it was like a football player dies. We lost Demaryius Thomas. Ryan Mallett dies.
Yeah, I forgot about Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett died at 35.
It's like it's
I'm like, what? And then I'm like, dude, why are all these players dying? And now the older players, like the one that played for the Steelers in the 70s, I'm like, all right, he was older, so I couldn't really.
Franco Harris, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, he was older, so I'm like, But Demaryius Thomas and Ryan Mallett, they were young.
And it's not just that too. If we go back to some of the older days, like Junior Seau,
because that was dark. That one was dark. Those were the dark days. To me, I felt like those days were darker than it was when these players died. Like,
because I think we talked about this once before.
Demaryius Thomas, didn't he die from a car accident? No,
I think he had a seizure while he was taking a shower.
He had to sleep and died. Ryan Mallett, I think he got into a car wreck.
Ryan Mallett drowned.
Oh yeah, he drowned. Okay, that was a pretty dark thing.
Yeah,
but back in the day, you had guys like Junior Seau commit suicide.
And which that was another topic of discussion that we did talk about once before we had the show even existed, was the fact that the NFL is just like, oh, they're all playing for safety. Where the hell is it? Let's be real.
But here's the thing, but that was like back in like 2010, 2011 when they didn't give a rat's ass about player safety. Now I think they care too much.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's killing it kind of, and people are like, the big hits and stuff. Why are they having big hits anymore? Honestly, I could do away with big hits. I can do away with that. Seeing guys' helmets fly off and taking big hits, I can do away with that.
Yeah, because remember, I mean, from us, we had one of our big hits back in 2007 against New Orleans. Sheldon Brown, Reggie Bush got lit up like a Christmas tree, and his career has not really been the same ever since. Because
and honestly, I cringe watching those hits now. Knowing the fact that CTE and concussions exist, or it's now in the forefront. I knew concussions existed, but
the CTE part
the CTE part was something new that comes from concussions that were
And
put into
shout
light.
out to was it Chris Nowinski or I'm
Chris
really
Nowinski from WWE.
at
He
boy
he put that into. He honestly went off on the Dolphins last year.
Oh yeah, actually, I want to retouch on that as well with the
He
Dolphins
went off on the Dolphins. I'm like, hell yeah, Chris.
because like he's only what I think Tua is like 24, 25, somewhere around that
He's
age
our age.
range.
He's around our age.
And the fact
And he had 3 concussions, man. 3.
And he came out like in an interview. I think for Sports Illustrated. Yeah. I mean, in pretty much paraphrasing that. Yeah, he had considering thought about retiring at 25 because he couldn't take it. Look at fucking Luke Kuechly. Retired in the prime of his career because of concussions.
Look at fucking Andrew Luck. I know it's different. I know it wasn't concussions that killed him. His career.
That's the biggest what if.
But that's a big what if. And yes, this does tie into it because he got injured a bunch of times. And it was get injured, rehab, come back, get re-injured, rehab, come back. And it just kept going as a cycle. And he's like, I'm done.
I think he said in the interview, he said, look, I'm tired of the pain. Like, I'm tired of going through constant pain. And looking down to now, like, he's living the best life since retiring.
The funniest thing, dude, I saw an interview, or I actually posted this on my Facebook. There was an interview from like a football game. He came into like a Civil War uniform. He goes, "The war is over, but I'm good." Funny though.
Like I say,
like he's a goofball, and I'm glad he's happier.
And that's what the one thing we always clown the Colts about, because ever since Andrew Luck retired, they could not get their freaking franchise quarterback right.
Because they tried to get a Band-Aid fix instead of building through the draft.
Philip Rivers, who I would say 1 year wasn't that bad with the Colts.
But it only lasted 1 year because that after the season he retired. As a Charger, he retired. And then he was emotional about it. He was emotional too. He was an emotional wreck in the press conference when he announced his retirement.
I can't blame him. I mean, when you really
look at it, he loved the game. He loved the game.
I mean, at the end of the day, the dude's a Hall of Famer, but it's kind of sad he's another Hall of Famer in recent memory that has not won the big game. Another guy that in particular that I
don't think he's ever been to the big game.
No, he has not been to a Super Bowl, but he's an 8-time Pro Bowler. And then you have guys like Larry Fitzgerald, who's been to the Super Bowl but never really won it. It's like you're having guys.
That's the fault of the Arizona Cardinals defense, because they choked in the final minute of the game when they should have just played defense in the final minute and they would have won it. They would have sealed the deal because they should have won that game. Let's be honest. Cardinals should have won the game.
Kirk could have had a second Super Bowl ring.
Kurt Warner balled out of his freaking mind in that game. And they could have won it.
It's just
because of defense.
The defense sold it, and and now speaking with the Cardinals too. It's also funny that the defense always sold in 2 games under Josh. The freaking game. It's like they have not. Oh boy, that's kind of funny.
The funny thing is, they lost in nearly the identical way of
twice
how we did. Remember 2018, the defense sold in the second half. What happened to the Cardinals in the Super Bowl in 2009? Defense sold in the second half. They lost. Guess who they got? The guy who made us sell in the second half of last year's Super Bowl.
And he did that.
Cardinals kind of a bitch there, Cardinals.
Think about it. You had the Cardinals who were up like 20 plus. It's like, and then you lose 31-28 to the Giants, who, well, speaking with the Giants, I got no hope for them. I'm sorry, Giants fans. I don't have hope for y'all this year. And that's, look at that. With rivalry aside, look at the
problem. How do you lose, dude? Thursday Night Football, 30-11.
Yeah. Thank God I picked the Niners. Whoever, yeah. So, yeah. Like I said, we don't have no, and. Which is also funny that there's a clip going around with Daniel Jones looking at the defense. It's like he's got like a scared look on his face, like, oh crap. Then again, can't be much more funny than Geno Smith like, oh my god, with Aaron Donald running at you. Was like,
oh my god.
But yeah, the NFL, this year, man, it's been this has been one wacky of a year to kick off the 2023 season. We seen. I'm not really saying no, like Patrick Holmes doesn't really look like himself, like the dude, like because when I know like Patrick Holmes is on, like you can see about 350 to almost 400 yards a game. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. Even in the last game, like he barely got over 275, I think it was, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And let's bro, that game was fucking shitty too. And I'm sorry, but offensively, the Jags, oh boy, they were doing way too freaking much. But that's just maybe that's it's. I think 2023 has been a bit of a wacky year. I mean, we've seen Joe Burrow obviously still feeling the activists with calf injury, but still playing like he stinks. Justin Fields, can't really blame him, like we talked about earlier. Called it blamed coaching, and rightfully so. I mean, look, I think, and that's the thing. That's kind of go back to what there's like this like myth around Ohio State quarterbacks. For some reason, can never pan out for whatever reason. I will never understand. Yeah.
Because here's the thing with their quarterbacks, right? The fact of the matter is, it's just they're not fit to be. They weren't molded to be pro quarterbacks.
It stinks, man, because like Dwayne Haskins, when I watched him in college, it's like, boy, this dude can actually and with the talent he had, God rest his soul. Yeah,
but just in the pro.
And that's true. And RC, that is absolutely true.
Was CJ Stroud Ohio State?
He's been solid.
No, wait. I'm asking a question. Is CJ Stroud a Ohio State guy?
He is Ohio State.
Okay. Well, he's been pretty solid so far. But
it's like I'm not getting my hopes up with CJ Stroud. And that's I say that's a bad thing.
Again, the Ohio State quarterback.
It's always it's a curse for whatever reason. If you're a QB at Ohio State, you're always somehow going to fizzle out in the NFL. So, like I said, give me about if CJ Stroud can have a solid week 4 to a week 5, and has a solid rookie season, then just maybe can CJ Stroud finally break the curse. But right now, like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm really worried for CJ Stroud if he's going to fall into the if there's going to
hopefully he breaks that mold that they had. That quarterback in those Ohio State cannot play good.
It's like any other skill. It was also crazy about Ohio State. Like other skill positions, whether it's on defense or offense, like a wide receiver, they always somehow to pan up. But it's never the quarterbacks. It's always a curse around the quarterback. But like
everyone else, like receivers, defensive players, everyone else pulls out of their mind. But quarterbacks,
not so much. And it stinks, man. There's biggest what ifs from these Ohio State quarterbacks. I'm sorry, RG3's from Baylor. I don't know why for some reason RG3.
Yeah, RG3 was Baylor.
I don't know why he almost. But even in this league itself, like not just from the college perspective, but we see some biggest what ifs. What if the Colts could have built a competent offensive line? Which right now I still don't have it.
Honestly, they were at a couple AFC Championship games, even with a bad offensive line.
Yeah,
I honestly think luck would have gotten them a few Super Bowl wins.
That's what I'm saying.
I think.
Like when you look at this, yes, I know the offensive line wasn't the greatest, but you could have at least tuned up that offensive line. Because like I said, go back to what we said earlier. Not CJ, but Andrew Luck's one of those biggest what ifs scenarios. It's like, and it's happened in all sports. Like in baseball, I've been talking to the MLB. Who's the biggest what if? I always think of David Wright. What happens if the injuries could not take a toll on him? It's the same thing with Andrew Luck or basketball. Lonzo Ball, for example, unfortunately, which stinks.
And that really sucks for him because he was really starting to come around with the Bulls.
Unfortunately,
he was really starting to come around. And I was one of the guys that were screaming, if he doesn't do well in this season, or if he doesn't do well his first season there, because I know in LA he wasn't that great.
Oh yeah, because when you're playing a bigger market, there's a lot of expectations on your shoulders. A
lot of expectations. He was playing. I'm like, all right, you're in a smaller market who hasn't had high expectations since Jordan was there.
Oh, here's some of the biggest what ifs.
Derrick Rose, yes. Penny Hardaway for sure.
How about Tracy freaking McGrady if he didn't get hurt?
For sure. T-Mac.
It's like look, I know sports is the one thing that has like it depends on who you're asking, like has the biggest what ifs. Like if you're asking an MLB fan, you're saying what if Derrick Rose didn't have that knee injury, or Penny
You know what else
Hardaway.
is a what if for me? And
Late
it
on me.
goes to Philly, and it goes right to Philly, the Phillies. What if Ryan Howard didn't tear his Achilles?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What would happen?
I think we could at least have at least one more in us before he called it quits. That's why the way I looked at it.
That's how I look at it too. You know, I think 2012 would have been a good year.
Yeah,
It would have been a very, very good year.
Unfortunately,
2012 would have been. Now, 2013 to 2015, I think it would have been down years for us.
Yeah,
but I think they are going to have one more good year.
Yeah, I mean, you still have guys that can still at least go for one more year before they retired. But
what if Chase Utley still had a meniscus in his knee?
Wait, what?
Because he had none. He had none, no tissue in his knee.
I completely forgot about that.
He had no tissue at all. What if he still had it in his knee? But what if he still had a meniscus tissue in his knee? That would have been. He would have been balling.
It really was. Like I said, you know, it's crazy what you can imagine, like the biggest what if stories. Like in basketball, boy, like there's a lot of names you could probably think of. Like I said, Derrick Rose, Penny Hardaway, T-Mac. Because I remember back.
Hell, what if Chris Bosh didn't have a blood clot?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, that was the biggest talking point. That scared me as a.
Dude, that scared me as a fan too. Like, dude, this man.
Kerry, yes, Kerry wouldn't.
Kerry would. Bro, he would have been baller. He was balling too since like '98. He was balling.
He made the old Houston Nationals look like complete scrubs. I remember watching that game, the 20 strikeouts.
He made them swing it outside. He made them swing at pitches outside the damn strike zone, like 10 feet away from him.
It really was, and that's really, like I said, you know, sports is the one. The sports world stuff can be cruel. It's like it can give you a lot of things, but it goes to take you away a lot of stuff. Like we said, with us,
yeah, sports has a funny way of doing that. It can give, but it can also take.
Like, think about we were having a good year in 2011. Then here comes when Howard tore his Achilles, and here comes our downfall for the last decade plus. And
the Achilles tear, and then
Utley
before the season even started, the next year Chase Utley's hurt.
I was like, God damn it! Or in basketball,
guys like Rollins are finally declining. Chooch is declining a little bit.
Like we're seeing,
everyone's just declining. They traded goddamn Hunter Pence. I'm still pissed at them about it.
Yeah, and
halfway through the season, they get rid of Pence.
Pence too. He wins a World Series after trading into the Giants.
Pence wins the World Series the same season. I'm like,
I'm thinking to myself, like, you son of a bitch.
Sweet sour chicken. Okay. Sorry, I was getting asked.
With the rice or without?
Without. I was getting asked what I wanted for Chinese.
But yeah,
pardon guys the interruption. I was getting asked what I wanted for Chinese.
Like, and I remember back then too. I know that I didn't put this down, but another thing too, I remember back then as a basketball fan, like we were all as a 76ers fan, we were linked to trading for Tracy McGrady, but unfortunately, his injury problems. Unfortunately, if he didn't have those injuries, he could have been.
And then we had to settle for a freaking aging. What's his face? What's his name? I can see his name. I can see his face, but I can't remember.
It's not AI because we shipped him a little bit sooner.
No, it was somebody. Fuck, who was it? It was
Jesus.
Dude that we traded for him. He's an announcer now. I can see the face.
Oh, it's the.
Fuck. What's his name, guys? Help me in the chat, please. Please.
Oh,
I know who it is. I know who it is. Never mind. It just came to me.
Who is it?
They traded for an aging Chris Webber. An aging Chris Webber, who don't even have any more at that point.
Yeah.
In 06, I think. I think it was 06 or 05, one of those years. But he was aging, and he didn't have it anymore.
Yeah,
him and AI didn't gel. It was just a mess of a team. But an aging Chris, I can't even say the word right. Chris?
Yeah, it was in
Chris Webber.
It was 2005. So this is basically what we got him, Michael Bradley, and Matt freaking Barnes. So it was, no discredit to Matt Barnes. I think he was still a solid player in his later years. So we traded for. Oh, I'm sorry. We traded for Kenny Thomas, Brian Skinner, and former King center Corliss Williamson. So we traded him in 2005.
So we traded. So it was basically a bundle trade with the King, getting Weber and these guys.
Yeah, and even though during.
And that was a big what if too. What if Chris was still a good guy, and him and AI were dominating?
Oh, and like I said, in 2003, I remember this too. He had microfracture surgery on his knee, and then Weber since then has lost lateral quickness and was seen as a defensive liability.
That was why, because that injury just further made it worse for him in his skill. He didn't have the same skill set as he did when he was with the Kings and almost made it to the finals. For the refs screwed him in 2001.
Yeah, I remember. And ever since then, the Kings were kind of like the laughing stock, or one of the laughing stocks in the NBA since then.
Yeah, after that trade with us in 2005, they had not been the same. They made the playoffs in like one more year in 2006, and then they just
16 long years of not making the postseason. Like, good Lord. I'm thinking about myself, boy, they didn't make the postseason. Boy, they're going to be up there with the Seattle Mariners.
And then I think they broke it last year.
They did.
They broke that streak last year, and I was happy for them. I'm like, finally.
They had a really good run at it, too, and just unfortunately ran into a powerhouse. That was the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good run, and I think they'll be back this year.
Because, like I said, I was one of those people who say, you know what, I think this team could be, like I said, second round exit, but I don't think they were going to go on a deep playoff run. I don't think they have the roster to do it. But
not yet.
It's like, and also this year, this is the first time you're making the postseason the first time in 16 years, which is freaking crazy to believe. Speaking,
the fact that we're whining and crying over the Phillies not making the playoffs for 11 years before they broke their streak, we could have been Kings fans. Had it worse.
Or remember, go look at last year's too. What if the Mariners didn't make the play? Look at the Mariners. Look how long their fans had to.
Not even worse than that. They haven't made the playoffs prior to last. Hold up. They haven't made the playoffs since 2001, and they broke it last year. Do you know how long that was?
Oh, I could really imagine like all the crap
that they had. 12? That's like what? 11 years? Not 11 years. 21, 20.
Right now, they didn't make it last year. It would have been 22 or 21 years. Oh my God.
21 years of them not making the playoffs.
Oh my God, that's
that's basically our entire childhood. They did not even make it.
Yeah, and obviously right now it holds the best record in baseball at 116 wins, which no one else is going to touch. Which I don't think it's going to be broken anytime soon. You're going to have to put up
no one's breaking that. No one's breaking that
unless you put up like a super OP team, but that's kind of a stretch.
Then again, you can't really do that because we have a super OP team and we can't even crack 90. We make the playoff, but we can't crack 90.
That's true. But going back to what we said about the Kings, though, with De'Aaron Fox, and I remember this too, where people had a lot of backlash from the Kings trading Tyrese Halliburton because they wanted Halliburton to be the number one guy. But really looking at how the Kings perform under De'Aaron Fox, you know what? I think this trade really worked.
Not a bad trade because they wanted De'Aaron Fox to be the top. They wanted him to be the face of the Kings. They wanted him to front team.
Well, they made a right choice on that. I will say that much.
And I was clamoring for that for a few years. Did I or did I not on our old sports show that we had?
Yeah.
Say De'Aaron Fox should be the guy.
Number one guy. To be number one option. And boy, hell, with a broken freaking finger, like he's still balled out with a broken freaking finger. And
Bro, popped that thumb in like he was Kobe. I'm coming in, coach.
And that's what I've always, and speaking with Kobe as well, that's kind of what I've really respected about Kobe. Like he really left a very nice legacy. No matter,
I always watch that clip back. I'm like, dude, that guy was a freaking baller. His finger was like that. It was bent like that. Like the top part of the finger. Imagine the top part of the finger bent like this. Like the top part of the finger was out. He went. I'm going back in.
Or the fact
Like,
he
damn,
finished the game with a torn Achilles.
And then he finished the game with a torn freaking Achilles. An injury that should have taken him out.
Yeah. But
he finished that shit. And also, we said this on the last podcast episode. Not this ain't a podcast. This is a show. We said this on the last show. This last episode of the show. If he was alive to see Klay Thompson of last year do what he did and stood there shooting 2 free throws on a torn Achilles.
Torn ACL, that is what it was.
Or torn ACL. He would have been like, I'm proud of you, kid.
I mean, look, and yes, I know Klay Thompson's not getting any younger, but he will get. But moving on to the WNBA, there's some history made between with Dallas and the New York Liberty, especially with Dallas. Obviously, for the older WNBA fans, remember they were the Detroit Shock.
They were the Shock?
Detroit, yeah, back in 2009.
Oh, okay.
And then when they relocated to Dallas and became the Dallas Wings. So the Wings, they finally won a playoff series against the Atlanta Dream, which I got to give the Dream a lot of credit for, because when me and Sarah had the ball with the ladies, like we had very skepticisms with the Atlanta Dream because they've been super inconsistent throughout the entire year. But the one thing that I thought, because right now the first rounds, between us and New York were kind of blowouts, and I freaking hate those. But obviously, you got a really nice competitive series between the Wings and the Dream, which I liked what the Dream have going for them going forward. But the Dallas Wings moving on to the semis since relocating to Dallas in 2016. So it's obviously, I know Dante's really happy about that with Satu Sabali winning the most improved player of the year. And rightfully so.
I really like Satu Sabali, dude. Like that, she's a baller.
And don't forget, you also got Enrique Gubawali, who's still as dangerous as all hell.
She's scary too.
But like I said, we talked about this before with the Wings, though. I think they're like a piece or two away to become. I do think in the future I can see to be title contenders.
For sure.
And right now they're going to go. Right now they got to take on the races in a best of 5 series, and I do think that's going to be very competitive. I
feel like that's going to go all 5. It's going to go all 5.
I definitely would think that
it's going to go all 5 because the Dallas Wings, they are no slouches.
No, they aren't. But there are times we've seen them where it's like it makes you quite, especially with some of the slow starts they had. I was like, it's just like it makes you raise an eyebrow of how slow they.
That's why I think it's going to go all 5 because some of the games they might start off slow. They might. But some of the games, they might start off fast and ready if we're not ready.
But speaking of another team, we're going to the Eastern Conference. New York Liberty, when they took care of business with I forgot who did they even take on?
A scrub, probably.
Probably. But regardless, the events of the semis for the first time since 2015, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's not saying that's I know 8 years is I may not seem a lot to a lot of people, but if you're a diehard WNBA fan, that's probably.
Bro, I still think 2015 was yesterday.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
It's been 8 years. But I've really liked what the Liberty have done. Now, yes, starting the first half, it's like the first half of the season, there was hardly any chemistry between these women. With ladies like Brianna Stewart, Courtney Vandersloot, Maria Johansson is still a solid piece off the bench, but you're also missing key pieces.
It took a little bit in that beginning of the season, but once they got going, they got going.
In terms of the best record, they were breathing down our necks, and I think
they were like 16 games, or like 10 or more games back.
It was I think it was 11 and a half.
11 and a half back, and then they just started creeping.
I was like, crap.
I think they capitalized on Candace Parker going down.
And
really think they did.
I really do think so as well. And at times, you saw it. Sabrina Ionescu, Jesus Christ, he is a 3-point machine.
She was a thorn in our goddamn sides.
In the regular season, I can tell you that much.
Like, stop shooting threes.
But
you're too good at it.
But hey, like I said, I do think the New York Liberty are definitely I think because right now, like I said, they missed 2 key important pieces. I think was Hanju because they were missing height coming off the bench.
Yeah, they were missing a lot of height.
And what the hell's her name? She was dealing with a high ankle sprain, so you probably didn't have her for a good chunk of the year.
I got the name in my head, but I can't figure it out. It's foggy.
So they were missing 2 key pieces. But do I think they're going to be consistent title contenders? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. I think honestly, I still think, even though Candace Parker's hurt, I still think it's going to be Aces Liberty in the final.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's going to be Aces Liberty, unless something miraculous happens with this Dallas series.
Liberty are probably the best competitions they faced so far to the Eastern Conference in the Connecticut Sun in the semis.
Yeah.
And honestly, I see both series go in 5 games. I do hold like I said, the Connecticut Sun are no slouches because I had skepticism when they lost Jonquel Jones, which is going to be ironic that Jonquel is going to play against her former team in the semis.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing saying when you lost Jonquel and you lost Brianna Jones with a torn Achilles, which sucked. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what everyone wants to see in the that'll be an interesting final matchup.
Yeah, everyone wants it because on paper that would be an entertaining series for the finals.
Because yes, I know last year's WNBA finals was actually pretty entertaining as well. So it can't be like I said. At least you had the best of the best actually playing the finals. Because if you had a scrub going to the finals against the Aces, boy, that would not have been an entertaining series. That would have been all she wrote basically.
It was a scrub, if it was a scrub team versus the Aces in the finals, I would have been mad.
Oh yeah,
like y'all really gave us this to end the season in the finals. We win this game. We win this series in 4. Like,
yeah,
but man,
but we did. We won it 3-1 actually over the Connecticut Sun last year. Wasn't easy.
But here's the thing, though. It was a very competitive 3-1. I was there for I think one of those games with you, streaming with you, because I wanted to. I was kind of dipping my toe in the WNBA.
Yeah, and I said this before too. The Storm had a good team last year, but look at this year. It's a whole freaking 1-3.
Oh my god!
A whole freaking
Bird retires. One of their stars got pregnant, so she was out for the entire season.
Brianna January retires. You had
January retired, and then all you have is Jewel Lloyd and a bunch of role players.
And she saw the bullshit that was writing on the wall. Say, "Yep, I'm out."
No, she didn't. She signed an extension.
No, she didn't sign it. No,
she signed an extension, dude. Jewel Lloyd signed an extension. I saw on a ticker on ESPN.
Oh, jeez. Well,
a month ago.
I'm talking about Stewie.
Oh, Stewie. I thought you were talking about Jewel Lloyd.
Oh, Jewel Lloyd.
I was talking about Jewel Lloyd. But
but he let Stewie walk, and boy, that was the talk of the WNBA all season.
Dude, as soon as Stewie walked, I'm like, yeah, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and well, we saw that. You couldn't even crack what was it? Not even. No, I'm sorry. That was yeah, they didn't even crack 10 wins if I remember correctly. They didn't even crack.
Well, let me look up their record. All right, I'll look up their record.
But yeah, so far it's been now semis has now been set. You got the Liberty and the Sun for the Eastern Conference, and Dallas and Las Vegas for the Western. While Tyler talks about that, because we do have a couple more topics, because obviously later on tonight we are going to be live for Friday Night SmackDown, and Monday. Before we go any further, Monday we may or may not do Raw because boy, we have a lot to cover on the It's Only podcast. But this week in the wrestling world has been freaking hectic. So yeah,
the team only cracked 11 wins this year.
Oh yeah, it
was their lowest total since 2015. And their .275 winning percentage was their lowest since their inaugural season in 2000.
Wow, that's freaking crazy to hear.
Their 29 losses this season was the lowest in franchise history, but it was also the first season of the WNBA's 40-game schedule.
Oh, that's yeah. So
they had the lowest in franchise history because, of course, that extension of that schedule. But yeah, they have not been that bad since 2000, pretty much.
Yeah, which is crazy to believe that it's like first of all you were almost the verge of the finals last year. Take a whole completely 180 because I mean you had Sue Bird retirement, which I mean we all knew is going to happen because she's not getting any younger. Brianna Jeremy was kind of a surprise to me, and then you let Brianna Stewart walk in free agency, and I was like, boy, that's not good.
Your second star got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, congratulations to her. We're definitely not blaming her for that. You know, it's her life. Live it.
She's been very. It's a baby among the WNBA with Skylar Diggins out with maternity leave. Katie Lou Samuelson from the Sparks was out with maternity leave. It's like, geez, who's got the baby fever?
those women apparently that baby fever.
But yeah, so last two things we're going to go on the docket. We're going to dip a little bit of the NHL because there's some interesting stuff that I've been seeing within the NHL. Bruins fans, I know you guys been a thorn on our side for years as a Flyers fans, but this is amazing to see. As we all know that Patrice Bergeron is.
Bro, I have a beard with their logo in it. They were so good last year, and the Flyers were so bad they almost made me front run.
Yeah, and, well, can't be worse than. And then obviously the Bruins collapsed.
And God! I'm like, I was like, dude, I was gonna be. It was before I kind of jokefully appointed myself as a Bruins fan.
That's
as soon as the playoffs started, they collapsed the 3-1 lead. I'm like, really?
Yeah, to an 8 seed in the Florida Panthers, the whole freaking teams.
So any team that I like or try to like is just misery for me. Really?
Apparently so.
What the heck, man?
Honestly, this is the biggest honor that I've always respected Brad Marchand. I think he was still a solid player to this point. Obviously, a lot of Bruins fans know that Patrice Bergeron is pretty much that face of the franchise for years.
Oh, yeah.
But Brad Marchand, or his nickname is Rat, which I never really understood why his nickname is that, but I'm not going to dive into
I don't understand that either. Why is he called Rat? Does he look like
I have no idea. But
is it because he looks like a rat? I don't know. I don't even think he looks like a rat.
We're going to have to ask Bob because he's a Bruins fan.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask him. Like, why is he called the Rat? I'm trying to be a fan here. I'll probably tell, hey, man, I'm trying to be a fan of the Bruins here. Why is he called Rat?
But Brad Marchand obviously is now the successor to Patrice Bergeron as the new Bruins captain. And honestly, well deserved because let's be real, Brad Marchand, I still think is an underrated player in the NHL. Like I said, I'm not, for those who don't remember, I'm not a diehard hockey fan, but I know
I'm not diehard either. That's why I'm trying to pick a team pretty much. I try to pick the Flyers, but then I'm like, nope.
But yeah, so Patrice Bergeron, I know I know a lot of people or a lot of Bruins fans are going to miss, and rightfully so. But Brad Marchand is now the new Bruins captain for the 2023-24 season. And last, but certainly not least, we have Steve Stamkos. Now, I think a lot of Lightning fans who will know what I'm talking about. But Stamkos, for those who have seen the World Cups, or not the World Stanley Cups, wrong
sport, Rob.
Shut up. I had a brain fart there. But two-time Stanley Cup winner Steve Stamkos actually showed his frustration that the Tampa Bay Lightning won't negotiate a new deal with Stamkos. And I think I called this a couple of years ago as well. Like knowing that what we saw with when the Lightning played against the Avalanche. And I think it was a year last year. And it's like when you're knowing you have your players are aging and not going to be the same players they once were. It's like, yeah, I mean, look, they pretty much sold themselves actually 3-time Stanley Cup for this Tampa Bay Lightning under Torts is the first one in I think 2004. But the last couple of Stanley Cups that they've won, it's been in a way we pretty much make this analogy. They pretty much sold their soul to the devil basically. And now it's not really liking that this Tampa Bay Lightning are going to probably take a step back because we've seen teams like the Florida Panthers who I'm very surprised they marched as far as it did, even though let's put this past NHL Finals was complete fucking shit. I'm sorry I had to drop the 4-letter S word, but boy, Vegas dispatched of them quickly.
Bro, I'm like, I sat there watching that. And it's like Series 1-0 Vegas, Series 2-0 Vegas. 3-0, 4-0. I'm like, really?
And the
I'm
last
only
game of the
getting 4
NHL
games.
Finals, the Florida Panthers got blown out on national television. Like no one wants to see that. I'm sorry.
It was just like the one team just kept scoring at will. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting if Stamkos is going to leave, or we don't know, because right now it's not really looking good for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because he's pretty much, I mean, that's like that. See, and that's one thing too. I think even in sports, when you sell your soul to win a championship, a lot of times you see the aftershocks of it, and now obviously we're seeing it now with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who they might be losing a lot of players, and it's not looking.
That's what happens in all sports, man, with a salary cap. I think hockey has a salary cap.
Yeah, and obviously hockey, I think so. But
the only league that gets away with selling their soul is baseball.
Because it's not a salary cap league. They got the
There's no salary cap. There's a luxury tax, but that's it. You can go over it and still have money.
But yeah, so
now with football, selling your soul, that'll hurt you. With basketball, I think they don't have a salary cap. They have luxury tax too, if I remember correctly. But selling your soul, that also kind of hurts you.
Yeah.
Because it's not because of money with basketball, it's health.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen health. I mean, perfect example. Look at the Golden State Warriors. I mean, look how bad they played last year. They didn't look at the team that won multiple championships, and now that you saw it, you know, their dynasty were starting to come to an end because you have all your players aging. You know, Curry's
with hockey though, it's even worse because you have injury issues because it's a hard hitting. It's a sport. You got people checking people. You got people decking people and knocking them over, knocking them into the wall. Or
I would say the NHL has not been what it used to have from older fans.
I remember in 2010 in the finals, it was us and the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Fight here, fight here, fight here, fight here on one play.
Yeah, it's like
I'm like, Jesus! It's a whole brawl here.
But hey, we've seen teams that we may not been surprised. We've seen some teams that were surprising to made it as far. Like particular the Vegas Golden Knights in 2018 when they first came to the league, almost won their Stanley Cup on the first try, but unfortunately ran into the powerhouse that was that is the Washington Capitals, who are now completely garbage.
I still think that's one of the most amazing stories.
That's like, first of all, an expansion team almost wins their Stanley Cup.
And an expansion team who should not be good their first season nearly became champions in their first season. What?
Yeah. I mean, you also had Marc-Andre. I think he had Marc-Andre's Fleury, who I remember, even though I fucking hated him when he was at Pittsburgh, and I was a lot of Flyers fans.
The funny thing is, I think the Golden Knights are the first team that went to the expansion draft actually trying.
Yeah. I mean,
because a lot of times when you have expansion drafts and leagues, they want to get the worst players so they can be bad to get top pick.
Well, look at the Kraken last year, or the year prior when they came in. Completely dog shit in the first year, but when the year 2 came in, they actually did pretty.
They did pretty good. They made the Stanley Cup playoffs. And they had a good run at it, and they were pretty good.
And obviously, Vegas got the redemption last year, winning the damn thing. Yeah, let's bro. And I know Vegas. I know a lot of I know probably the players that probably would say that finals was actually garbage. And I could not blame him if the
4 games in and it's over. What?
It's like
welcome to the Stanley Cup finals and it's over.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And I forgot the Avalanche also did the exact same thing in the early 2000s. I completely forgot about that when they were.
Oh, the Avalanche did it. Oh, yeah, I guess it's easier in hockey to do that.
It really is, because it's like, because you don't expect it.
See, we're new. See, you gotta forgive us there. We're new hockey fans.
Well, I've been on a touch of hockey for over a decade. Pretty much.
You've had a touch of hockey. It's not much hockey.
Yeah, but.
And I'm not the only one that's ribbing you in the comments. Chad is too.
Yes, I don't have a little brain for it. But that all being said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Because like I said, we have a couple more baseball topics. I'll talk about that on Wednesday for Between the Lines.
You want me to be? You want me to hop on that too and be like the co-host of that? Or
I mean, you're already a co-host for the show.
I'm already the co-host for the show.
Yeah,
I thought it was just you.
No, but even
Because
though
in the ad it's saying it's just you.
It's primary my show, but I wasn't desperate need for co-host, so you're pretty much.
Oh, I'm in. I'm totally in.
But yeah, so I have a couple of baseball talk, but which I'm going to save for Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, live. But yeah,
honestly, I don't think I'm feeling Raw tonight. To be honest,
I mean SmackDown
or SmackDown tonight. I'm not really feeling it tonight.
I don't blame you. But before we get out of here, obviously shout out to our sponsors of today's episode of the All Star Sports Show. Obviously with SeatGeek, obviously with concerts.
Before we go, I gotta talk about this. Patrick Roy was a beast.
Yeah, I mean,
in my few years of watching hockey, like I'm in and out of it. I've seen Patrick Roy. This man's zigzagging. This man's shooting. Like, damn, bro.
And obviously too, and it was also, which I want to talk more on this this year's NHL draft probably in the next show, because I think if we see some big boys in this NFL draft class. It's like
what, NFL? I think it's NHL.
The NHL draft. We've seen guys, I think, like 6'5", 6'6". That's like, and like two.
Well, you gotta get those big body guys so they can hit.
It's like,
hitting's a part of the game, bro.
The only thing I said, man, what I miss about that, because it's like,
dude, if I was playing hockey and a 6'5" guy hits me, I'm retiring. I'm like, you know what, coach? I retire. Yeah, I retire. Get me out of here.
Patrick
Roy was goalie. Oh, yeah, he was goalie. That's right. So I'm not well versed in hockey. All right. So I want somebody to do something. But yeah, I guess I'm not real versed with that. You seen it, Steve? I'm not real. All I knew is that Patrick Roy could. I've heard the name Patrick Roy and how good he was.
Oh, 100%. But like I said,
I'm thinking of Patrick Kane. What the? That's who came in my mind.
Unfortunately, the Blackhawks are going to haunt us for the years.
Wrong Patrick. Again, I'm not well versed in hockey, so I'm sorry. That's why I'm not doing any hockey games. This is why only Rob's doing them, because I'm not doing them.
But next episode we're definitely going to touch on the NHL draft, because I mean, obviously I've really liked what this year's draft class has brought. Obviously, I think everyone, like I said, we're not going to go deep into it, but we're going to touch upon it, because obviously, I think me and Tar did.
Before we talk about it next week, learn their names so we don't butcher them.
Well, in terms of the Flyers, like I already pretty much know the roster, so I'm getting used to it.
It's like that SNL skit with Tyler the Creator. That's an S, a K, and a J. That's a no.
But yeah, and it's like, but before we get up out of here, we're going to thank our sponsors for today. For SeatGeek, for those who are going to go to hockey sporting events, that includes NHL hockey, concerts, wrestling events.
Oh, I know Connor Bedard. We were trying to tank for him, and we couldn't even do that right.
But hey, we got the second best player in this draft, to Mitchkov.
I don't care who got second best. I wanted first best. Damn it.
Technically, even though he's like the second best, like one of the other best prospects, but I think he's probably the best player besides Bedard that's available. And he fell into the Flyers' laps, basically.
True. But yeah.
But speaking with our sponsors, so shout out to our sponsors of today's show. With SeatGeek, for those who are going into any baseball, hockey, any sporting events, concerts, wrestling events, go to SeatGeek.com. Use our promo code Philly Sports. That's all capital letters at checkout to see $20 off. For those who need, a natural energy, an extra kick in the pants, go to w.gg and go and check out the website there. Use our promo code SportsWrestle10 to save your 10% off your order. No matter if you just want to get the shaker, which is the cup, tubs, obviously the little tubs or the little packets, or the starter pack, whatever you want to get over there. Use SportsWrestle10 to save your 10% off. For those who are looking for other baseball equipment, or coaches need uniforms made for their teams, go to StingerSports.com. Use SportsWrestle10 to save 10% off your order. Whether if coaches, I think this is the best place, one of the best places to get your uniforms made. If you want some good quality equipment, and Stinger Sports is also we highly recommend Stinger Sports as well. For those who are looking for good golf apparel, good durable golf apparel, stuff like that, if you do, or for those who are golf heads, go to shankitgolf.com. Use Sports Wrestle 15 to save 50% off. And also you get free shipping for orders over $100. So you guys, please do not miss that, because if you miss it,
splurge, people, splurge.
That actually sounds wrong, but I'm going to move on from that.
All right, don't think dirty. Splurging means buying everything, bro. Not what you're thinking. Stop your dirty mind out. Get that out. That out of the gutter, man. Out the gutter. This is you. This is me. I'm taking you out of the gutter. All right, get out of there.
But yeah, so obviously, for those who want to get their baseball equipment or softball equipment for a discounted price, you want to break the bank, so to speak. Go to justgloves.com. And obviously they got some good deals going over there as well. Obviously, we don't have a promo code for it, but yeah, they got deals going on for you, some closeout deals. So you guys do not want to miss out on that as well.
And remember, guys, and we haven't really been good at this. The ones with the promo codes, you put in the promo code at checkout.
Yep.
All of that is at checkout. But please continue.
And our last, certainly, shout out to our newest sponsor to the show is Fans Idea. For those who want to get their own custom jerseys, for those who follow Jake the Snake Silva, he's the one guy that use our promo code SportsWrestle10 at checkout to save 10% off. If you guys want to have your own customizable jersey, whether it's basketball, football, I think hockey, I think they have there. I think, but I got to double check on that. But like I say, if you're a baseball head, you can get custom baseball jerseys of any color. Same thing with football, hockey. If you're a basketball fan too, you can also get your
get jerseys.
But yeah, so, and that's pretty much, and shout out to all of our sponsors of the show. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun with some of these.
Oh, and one more thing, we forgot one thing. We have merch.
But if you guys didn't want to hear all that nonsense I just spewed, go to our link tree. That's linked in the description. So save you time.
Go to the link tree, and any purchases you make,
all proceeds go to charity.
All proceeds go to charity, man. So with you buying from our merch store or from Just Gloves or from any of the places that we get commission for, any of the sponsors.
They go to charity of our choice. Obviously,
goes to a charity, and I think, and this month will be suicide prevention suicide awareness prevention,
suicide awareness, whether you want to call it, still
whatever you want to call it. It's showing awareness to suicide anyway. But we'll be donating to them this month, and then next month we'll be donating to 2 charities.
We got for the month of October, because obviously for those who everyone knows that the October is the breast cancer awareness month, but obviously there's another one that me and Tyler want to do. Mostly this is from Tyler's end.
It hits home with me because I have it.
And
it's the spina bifida. It's the spina bifida foundation or whatever. I found it randomly. I'm like, do they have a foundation for spina bifida you can donate to? And I looked it up. Lo and behold, you can.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
So we'll be donating to the Spina Bifida Foundation too, as well as breast cancer. Because now, albeit breast cancer is a worse thing because you can pass from.
Yeah, which is it hits home for a lot of people, myself included.
It hits home for way more people than Spina Bifida does. If you look at the numbers, you can see for spina bifida, you can see why it's rare. You can see why not many people have it.
And obviously, but yeah, like I said,
honestly, I didn't realize, and I did not know, like, I would find one of my friends that have it. Shout out to her, by the way, from Triton, by the way. Shout out to her. That I didn't know I would find one of my best friends that had it too. So not only that I have it, one of my friends have it. So it hits home with me personally, and it helps a friend out. It helps many people to have it out,
100%. But
and also, but yeah, breast cancer too. That's the dreaded C word, man. It sucks.
yeah,
So we'll be donating to them as well.
like well, like I said, we'll talk. Me and Tara will talk more of it, and like I said, we'll plan out our share because right now we don't know, especially with how because I'm gonna be working within the school district next week, which is going to be great. So,
man, you have wonky freaking hours. I'll tell you that much.
well, here's the thing, because I start as a sub, for the school district, so I'll be
You're a
working part
sub?
time.
You're a substitute teacher?
No, I'm a custodian. I'll do custodial work, basically pulling the
Oh, I thought
trash,
you were a substitute
floor
teacher. I'm
buffing.
like, dude. I'm like,
But
how do you?
I'm getting some good money out of it, so it's
I'm
going to
like,
be.
how'd you land a substitute teacher job?
Well, well, I got to shout out my grandfather who actually got me into working with the school district. So yeah. So like I said, so me and Sarah will, and obviously like I said, the schedule might change from here, depending on what my work schedule is looking like. Like I said, me and Tara will discuss that, and obviously I will definitely would put an update on the community post. So please be on the lookout for when that post drops, because like I said, we don't want to keep you guys wait. We don't want to hold you guys out on any content at all.
Oh no, we're not going to hold you up on any content now.
And
With
yes, for those
SmackDown,
who are
I'm not.
wondering, I forgot to really mention this earlier. Obviously, Wednesday we didn't really do much. I know there's probably some of y'all that wanted to see AEW Dynamite. Unfortunately, yeah.
This is why. Here's the reason why that I told you guys on Twitter that he was going through some stuff and there was no Dynamite.
So
Take it away.
So the issue, I'm saying the issue, but the thing that I was kind of dealing with was obviously putting my dog down after 16 and a half years. Obviously they dealt with a lot of multitude of health problems. Was not really the day that obviously was not really looking forward to, but unfortunately, her time was coming to an end. So, and obviously it put a lot of, not say stress, I would say it put a lot of stress on me. And, it wasn't, I say, you know what? And I decided to take the entire day off, so it's not.
Yeah, he texted me. He goes, "Look, man, I'm not emotionally ready to stream tonight." I'm like, dude,
yeah. So
that's
for those who
okay.
are baseball fans, we're looking for another episode of Between the Lines. Unfortunately, that had been postponed, and same with AEW Dynamite had to get pushed back. So like I said, I do apologize. If I wasn't really mentally right. Like I said, I mean, even though it's right now, it's been kind of. I'm still getting to it adjusted, obviously, because obviously we used to keep her in the kitchen a lot, and obviously because she was on the older end of the spectrum, and every day it's it's going to be it's a different day to get adjusted. But at the end of the day, I'm still happy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you my side because I sympathize with Rob here. I sympathize with him because I lost a pet, and it took me a little while to adjust.
It's like, but yeah,
like before my dog died, my dog would lay on my floor, and every time I go to bed, I look at my floor. She's not there. So it takes a hard time to adjust to that, and I got through it, and I know Rob, you'll get through it too, man.
I'm already pushing through it, and and for those who kind of, and like I said, I'll probably have a different separate streams for these, and like I said, not just from my side of things, I do like at some point one of these days, actually, you know what? Just had a light bulb go off my head. Probably have like a mental health Monday or something like that, or some sort of
mental health Mondays, dude. Hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
and we'll continually do that, and we'll continually donate to that charity for the entire year, for many years going forward.
Oh yeah, like I said, me and Tara, like we've been monetized for a long time. Like I said, we don't really keep the money that we make over here. Like we're not greedy, obviously.
I have, dude, I have a check that comes in that goes towards the house and food. That's it.
So either way, as Tyler's pointing, like he's doing his best.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my part, and I don't even lift a finger. Pretty much.
100%.
It's an automated check that comes in, and I right to the house. So I'm fine. Living expenses are fine with me.
Yeah,
you have a job that pays you your money, and you're fine.
And we're getting money over here, so it's like for me, I could care less about the money that we make over here because that's charity money, basically.
That's charity money. We're doing this as a hobby. We have fun.
Because for those who've been around the channel a long time, our biggest goal back then was to get monetized, and 2.5 years or over 3 years in, we finally.
No, the original plan was for us to get demonetized, and yes, Rob was going to keep the money because he was planning to do this full time.
But really look about it, since I'm actually making better money.
Then me and him talked about it, and we're like, we think that's too greedy.
Yeah,
I
brought the charity idea to Tyler. So you know what? Why not just
donate? Actually, no. I brought the charity thing to you.
That was your idea.
That was my idea.
What was I thinking? I completely forgot.
What you were thinking originally was you were going to keep the money because you were going to quit your job to do this full time.
Yeah, that was the original idea. But then again,
I'm thinking, dude,
it's kind of stupid now.
I'm like, dude, then they're gonna think that you're gonna hog the money and it's gonna be too greedy. I'm like, why don't you just do the charity?
I had to second guess myself, and I said, you know what? No, not doing that.
And then my idea was originally splitting the money, but then I'm thinking I don't know if there'd be a way to split the money. Let's not do that.
Yeah, trust me, RC. Once you let's be real. Yeah, trust me. But like I said, we'll talk more. Like I said, but outside of that, I know Tyler probably not be up for SmackDown, but for those who will want to come join me on SmackDown, I'll definitely be doing it.
I might pop in. Like I might pop in second hour. I might.
I mean,
I just need like an hour, maybe an hour break from SmackDown or from streaming, because usually I like to stream, take a little break so I don't get burnt out, and then stream again maybe an hour later.
But yeah, so if you guys want to check out all the sponsors that we have in our merch store, go to the link tree down below, or check out, or if you go to one of the merch store, check out the link in the description as well. So you have 2 ways to get in it as well. And also check us out on social media. That's on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, not X. We're not calling it that. Instagram and TikTok. Like I said, we're on all social media platforms. That's in the link tree down below.
And I'm going to rant about this for a second. Elon Musk. What in the actual hell is that name? X.
I have no idea, but
stupid. We're calling it Twitter. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter too. Both of our Twitters are on our link tree. It's the official It's From Me podcast page. I do interact with people on there. If you can send me a message, I'll message back. That's how much I interact with the people.
Yeah, so anything that's net wrestling related, this dude this is the guy for you.
I'm your guy. I am your guy.
But if you guys
Rob and Tyler will be billionaires in the future. Nah. Dude.
I wish.
Dude, we won't even be billionaires. The charities will be billionaires. What are you talking about? The charities. I think we're billionaire.
Oh, absolutely. And plus, I mean, well, then again.
But I will tell you this. If we do get billions, I ain't going to be a cocky little bee like goddamn Vince McMahon. Boom.
Well, like I said, we'll talk about more of that on Monday, because holy crap, we got a lot of. We might not even do Raw on Monday, because we might.
Dude, we got so much, dude. We have so much stuff, and we start the It's Really podcast at 6. This might go to like 8:30, so we might not even do Raw.
So yeah, so like I said, you guys do not want to miss out on a brand new episode of the It's Really podcast. So please, like I said, if you guys want to have your notifications turned on, make sure you ring that bell. And then once you know that we go live, boy, you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna enjoy all what we got in terms of the It's Funny podcast, because, like I said, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot of wrestling news to cover.
Yes.
But that all being said, and shout out to Key for that new intro. Obviously we were in desperate.
Dude, Key. I love that intro. I love it.
So shout out to Key for the new intro. And with that all being said, guys, this concludes episode 3 of the All-Star Sports Show.
And also shout out to Key for giving us the new game that we're going to be playing weekly on this From Me podcast. Guess that wrestler's theme.
I'm still kind of mad at myself.
Bro, I stumped your butt last week, and you better stump me. Dude, you better stump me this week.
Okay.
You better stump me.
Okay. So... But that being said, guys, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun for Monday, because, boy, I've never had fun on an episode. I've never been so more excited for an episode.
Chad, I think it was already covered. I think Bret Hart did that.
But
sorry, I had to say that.
That being said, everybody, let's be real. I may or I don't know. I might throw a gaming stream instead of SmackDown at the night. So, like I say, if you guys are gamers like myself, like I say,
Oh, you're not going to do SmackDown?
Probably not. I probably might throw a gaming stream just to chill for the rest
Oh,
of the
you're
night.
getting burnt out by this stream, or what? 'Cause I was going to pop in.
I got work tomorrow at noon anyway, so I'm not going to. And crap.
All right, so no SmackDown tonight because of
and
job.
obviously, and obviously,
he might be wanting to just chill and game and then go to sleep, knock out.
That's pretty much much about it. But like I said,
I completely understand, and I bet you the people completely understand.
But obviously, give a little quick update as well. So next week there will be no SmackDown. I told Tyler that's going to be no SmackDown. That's because I'm getting my fingerprinting done for the school district, and once that's all said and done,
No, you lied to me. You lied to me. I know for a fact you're getting your fingerprinting done because you got booked in jail, bro.
No,
tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so I had to get my online fingerprinting done for the school district. So once that's all said and done and crap like that, and have the receipt for the school district, I'm already in the school district. So I'm going to be working at this new job we're actually working at the middle school. So it's right down the street from my house. So it's pretty much and all that. So yeah.
Yeah. See, Chad doesn't blame you, and honestly, thank you, Chad,
for AEW Dynamite, because I know we had to push it back to next week or this week, I would say, or next week, I would say. Because like I said, I had to deal with a lot of personal issues.
Yeah. And I understood. I completely understood. The people completely understood. When I talked to them on Twitter and stuff like that, they're like, "Yeah, man, we understand." And that's all we care about is about you guys and our well-being too. So
hopefully
Tuesday
will be the classic retro SmackDown watch party. I know we've been pushing that off for the last couple of weeks.
I pushed it off because I had stomach issues.
Well, obviously, Mother Nature was kind of
Mother Nature screwed me this week. Screwed me.
But yeah, don't worry. We'll still get the SmackDown watch party in as well. But yeah, it's gonna be like I said. I know, and shout out to every single one for those who actually came in their watch parties because boy, it's been a lot of fun. So I appreciate that, RC. Like I said, I need a better job anyway, so why not work at the school district? And at least
that man had 2 shit jobs in the span of a year.
Technically, I did multiple. I mean, I went through freaking Walmart for 11 months, then go to fast food.
Walmart?
Yeah, that was my very first.
That's like the Spain of bad jobs. What? Okay.
Like at the time, like, because here's the thing, I skipped all, would get my work compared. So I waited till I was 18, 19, and went straight through it head first. 11 months, freaking hated it. Then went to did Taco Bell and Walmart, McDonald's, and Taco Bell combined for almost 3 years of service time. Then Wendy's didn't last.
I'm still mad at you that you didn't ship up nacho fries because of that job. Damn it!
I fucking hated that. I fucking hate them. Well, not well.
You're like, trust me, bro. They're bad. I'm like, really? They're bad?
It's basically always a season. It's like freaking fries with Old Bay seasoning on top. Like there's nothing special about it,
bro. I love Old Bay seasoned fries.
But hey,
like cheese on that
too. But for me, but hey, but like I said, and obviously I want to give a shout out to everyone who actually tuned into our retro watch parties, because boy, y'all really showed up and showed out. Like I said, because I was like, because originally I had like second guess myself doing these.
Yeah, RC, you're exactly right, brother.
Hey, wait, freaking wrong.
Bad job, bro.
But last and final thought, like I said, me and Tara, we greatly appreciate for those who actually showed up for the viewership in terms of our retro watch party, because
oh my god, I love you guys
because I was second guessing, man, I'm really hoping this doesn't flop the second time. And well,
dude, it's because of my reactions, because I'm like so appalled half the time with all the stuff that happens and on Attitude Era Raw and SmackDown. I'm like, how did this go on TV at the time?
Well, welcome to my world, Tyler.
I'm in there. I'm in that world now.
and yes, we are starting so we're getting close up to our very first pay-per-view of 1999, which is Unforgiven. So please, you guys do not want to miss that. Like I said, we do our best to call, and obviously we are trying to implement some new stuff as well while we're doing these watch parties, like some kind of and take mental notes of history every time we do do our modern. We'll have some history facts behind it, and hopefully Monday, I'll get revenge on you, Tyler, for stumping me on the most obscure freaking line.
I hope you do.
Because I got
This is how the game is supposed to go. We're supposed to out-stump each other. So I hope you do. And
okay.
I'll get one back the following week. That's how it works, man.
Yeah,
Get one back every week.
Like I said, I've never been so excited for. And I honestly like I said, shout out to everyone who's been shown their appreciation for our first couple of, because we did 2 or 3 episodes that's worth over 2 hours. But now if I obviously and this time it's going to be more of a structured 2 hours and obviously stuff like that. And
shout out to our boss. Shout out to our new boss. He was an awesome boss.
And shout out to Jake Silva.
Jake Silva, Jake the Snake, buddy.
Probably the best idea to make some
best changes. Idea. Because he said this like in like a little like meeting that we had before the group even, launched. He said, "Yo, we do structures and we have like different segments." I'm like, and I look at Rob after. I'm like, that's a good idea. Like, so we started doing that. So shout out Jake the Snake for that. And it's gonna be fun. We got a lot of stuff for you guys coming in the next few weeks. A lot more sports oriented stuff too. Like I said in episodes past, or on honestly the last Raw episode, we're not gonna do Raw as often as we did in the summer. We're gonna throw in a few Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, so obviously, probably next Monday. Obviously, this Monday. I don't know. Well, let's see.
Hold on. Let me see what the matchup is for Monday Night Football. We got the Eagles.
Eagles and Patriots. Eagles and Tampa Bay.
We're most definitely going to do that game. Most definitely. Because I don't mind missing a Raw for my favorite football team. Let's be honest. My favorite football team is on a Monday night. Screw Raw. I'm just saying.
That's kind of crazy. That's the same Monday that we're going to do the Eternity podcast. I think we should do that a little bit. That might be 8:15 or so.
No, it's going to be 6 p.m. It's going to be 6 p.m.
No, I'm trying to think. The Monday Night Football kickoff.
Monday Night Football kickoff is at. Oh, damn. Wait, it's at. I think ours is at 7. I think our game's at 7 because it's a double. It's kind of like they're doing what they did last week. One station has one game, the other station doesn't, or the other station has another. Like ABC has our game and ESPN has another game.
Oh yeah.
Shit, I gotta look this up. We might not have Israel and me on this week. Oh damn.
Or we can push.
We might not have Israel. We might have to either push back Israel me to like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, or cancel it for this week because our game starts at 7:15 on Monday. Okay. So what do you want to do?
I just want to just start. I think we could push it back, or we could probably push the Israel to the following Monday next week.
Yeah, I think we should. Because we don't want to throw people off. Oh, why is it on earlier than like? We don't want to throw people off. So we're not gonna do an episode this Monday. We're just only gonna do the Monday Night Football game.
Okay, I'm down for that. With that being said, guys, like I said, I'll definitely put up a community post and kind of give you an update of what our streaming schedule is looking like. And there's any changes, I'll definitely add that as it'll be subject to change. So be on the lookout for that. With that being said, guys, we appreciate when you actually come into the show each and every month or Friday. I don't know why it feels like a Monday for me, but that's besides the point. And that being said, guys,
bro, I no, you're not the only one. I thought it was Monday. I'm like, what are we gonna do for Raw tonight? It's Friday. What the? I said, what are we gonna do for Raw on stream? Because I thought it was Monday.
And that's what for me. But but that's besides the point. But that being said, guys, like I said, there's going to be no SmackDown. Obviously, because we want to save more for next week as well. And obviously, like I said, our streaming schedule might subject to change, and obviously, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is that we're like right after a stream or right before a stream, we're gonna write the schedule down for that week. Like, okay, yeah. Rob's off, no stream. Rob's here, stream. We'll do it that way. Before a stream, Let's do that before stream on Monday. Before any stream.
That's good enough for me.
So we can let the people know what the streaming schedule is, so that they don't get thrown off. Oh, why isn't there an episode of this on this day?
Or where's some? Yeah, so like I said, we're kind of the sticklers that hate skipping on content because I know that we've done that.
Yeah, we're sticklers to not throw off. We're sticklers about throwing off fans, or they're not our fans. They're our friends. We're not going to throw.
Yeah, for those been around the channel a long time. So yeah, we decide to, and that's why shout out to Tyler with the new name change, so we don't throw them off.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's the Philly Sports Talk podcast, and we're doing wrestling too. It's going to throw a lot of people off, and that's why the numbers it was like 20 views for like Raw and like 100 views for sports video. So I'm like, let's make it sports and wrestling. The views started evening out.
Yeah, so
and I'm happy about it. I'm like, that was a good move by me, and because I don't want to throw you guys off. We don't want to throw you guys off.
No, not really.
And we don't want to throw you guys off with the schedule, like, oh, Rob's working this day, Rob's not working this day, but they didn't notify us on the day. Like,
yeah, and that's why I said that's why I'm going to put up my and then Tyler will tell me the schedule, and I'll put that. I'm going to try to do that every week as a community post. Like I said, it's not going to be set in stone. It's going to be subject to change depending on what my schedule is going to be looking like, especially while working at the school district. So it's going to be there's times are going to be a little bit different. I would say so. Like I said, Friday. I think that's for certain right now. There's going to be nothing for Friday. Because I'm going to start right immediately for the school district.
No SmackDown.
But right now, that's all I know in terms of the work at the school district for right now.
Yeah. So we don't know. I mean, it could be a Monday through Friday job, though.
It's pretty much like that, and
so we might. So I don't even know if we have any free days to even stream anymore.
Well, and that's what depends too. If I'm like, if they're going to have me work in the mornings, which is pretty much what about 9 to. Well, like I said, I don't know exactly what times the days are or the time because, like I said, I'm going to be working.
What school district are you working?
Gloucester City School District.
They usually go to like 2:45, so they might have you there till like 3.
Yeah, and by the time I get and plus I'll be working at the middle school, so I'm ready to be walking home like right down the frickin' street. So pretty much we'll have a lot of time.
And guess what? You'll be back at that school, but guess what? You don't have a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, but like I said, it's gonna be.
I ain't bailing you this one. I ain't bailing you out this time, buddy.
Well, here's the thing. At least it's gonna be good money once the full time. Because like I said, I mean as a sub, because like I said, obviously the person who runs this middle school told my grandfather, which is the fact that 50. She had a handful of people call out, so she wants me to start work right away. Almost pulled an Ember Fudd right there for whatever reason.
This is like a football team, brother. Next man up.
So I'm gonna so there's gonna be nothing because I'm not gonna be home till like about 11:30. Like I said, it's going to show me how to like pull. I mean, obviously not just pull a trash, but like learn the floor buffer. Even though my grandparents kind of bust my chops about not like don't ride the floor bars. So first of all, I think that's stupid. So besides the
I can see you do that. I can see you just like flying down the hallway. Whee!
and when I'm getting hurt, no, thank you. But like I said, But so like I said, obviously with this job, it's going to have its benefits with, finally get health insurance. Cause right now I don't have any because fuck the state of New Jersey obviously me and my mom don't have health insurance, but it's like, nope, you make too much, you get no health insurance. So I know
that sucks, man.
But obviously with this job, it covers my health. It gives me health insurance and also gives me a pension. So if I stay there for like 25, 30, almost 30 years, and then by the time I retire, that pension money is already ready for me to pretty much be there. So I'm going to be having, I'm having 2 different sources of income at the end of the day.
But honestly, to think about it, I'd be the stupid one to do what your grandfather told you not to do.
But hey, it's going to be a lot of fun though. And the last final thing, I know probably.
Oregon or Oregon. Not Oregon. Colorado all day.
Yeah, go Colorado, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Colorado all day. Coach Prime is the real deal.
But it's going to be interesting how what they're going to do with, since obviously they don't have the number 1 target for Shedora Sanders, who obviously, last game didn't look too good. I would say. I thought.
But,
I thought it was complete.
but the coaching was just so good. They were able to adapt and win the game.
But yep. That being said, guys.
Thank you guys for showing up,
and
showing
that being
out.
said, have a good day, everybody.
Peace.